WTHC. Good morning and good afternoon to you guys over here on the East Coast where I am. Good morning, Dr. High. How are you? You got the hippie?
I'm good, thanks. You?
Doing well, doing well.
This morning?
Had a slow morning, man. I was hurting, but then I realized that Mrs. Hippie pulled a fast one on me and snuck me the decaf. And
I thought you were going to say she put oregano in your bag.
No, not that. We wouldn't have a Mrs. Hippie if she did that.
Pulled the fast one and switched over to oregano.
Took mine and gave me the oregano. No, she would. Yeah. No. She switched the decaf with the calf, and woo! I was dragging my ass this morning.
Good morning.
Just starting now that I've been here. Good morning.
Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, how are you? Welcome in. Garrett, how are you? Yeah. So, what's new?
I've just been working all morning. I was on the computer at like 4:30.
I know. Yeah,
it's been a big day. I got a lot of stuff I'm releasing up today. So we've got the free book, the ADHD and medical marijuana book. It's free for the next few days.
Free for the next few days, guys. Grab it up.
And I got the journals complete and everything done and listed, and so it's been a busy morning, but it's fun. I like doing it. I put you on the radio and I do my thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Music, your music is curated for me, I'm sure.
It's catered to you. I know. I see you out there listening. I'm like, oh, let me just play all kinds of music Dr. High likes. Well, come on, stay with me, buddy. Stay with me. Raising up already. You guys, the journal?
Did I miss the dialogue? Huh?
They're asking about. I need one. Dakota, how are you? Oh, you're Fable.
How you doing, Fable?
Hey, Fable. She's sharing it out.
Yeah, all you got to do is check on my profile, my Facebook profile, or just go to Dr. High AI Hayes on Etsy, and it's there. It's really comprehensive, and the beautiful thing about it is, once you get it one time, it's a digital download. So that's yours to keep, right? So every time you do a new cycle, if you do multiple strains, however you conduct your cultivation activities, this will always be there. And the best way to ensure future success is to track your wins and losses in every current grow, so that it's hard for us to remember. We're stoners. So it's hard for us to remember, what happened 3 months ago, unless it's catastrophic, right? Like you get spider bites or something like that. You don't forget those things. But if it's just a difference in feed, right? And you can learn how to push your plants. When you track, you can learn how to push your plants to the max. You know what I mean? And really maximize them. But you gotta have that history.
My plant to the max because it still has not been transported. I'm pushing it to the max. But man, he looks beautiful this morning. I woke up, I went and sang to her. And I don't know if it's a her or him yet. I'm pretty sure it's a her, right? We're pretty sure it looks like a her so far. Can we tell yet, or is it too soon?
Well, it's too early to tell.
Too early to tell. But
yeah, you can't. You're not going to know until
kind of not gender specifying, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, when you go to 12 and 12, you'll be able to see the changes within 2 or 3 days.
And
you may see it sooner today.
The soil and stuff is coming home today. So, and I poked holes in the cup, and I'm telling you, it probably grew another inch last night.
No, it's Dr. High AI Hayes. Dr. High AI Hayes, Tim. Yeah, no, we'll see that. Sometimes you can see it earlier. You'll start to see the little feathers come out, the little pistils, the very first hairs will come out in the crotch between, the stalk and a branching site. You'll see
there's a lot of crotch action going on. There's a lot of crotch action going on.
No, you'll see. Sometimes you'll see that earlier. Sometimes you might not see it until you flip, right?
No. So, she's got some crotch, or he has some crotch action.
Well, let's hope it's not a he.
It's loaded with crotch.
We don't want any heat. When it comes to cannabis,
crotch could come from, it came from.
It doesn't matter who you are. When it comes to cannabis, you have to be a feminist.
Right. I am.
You know, it's got to be that way.
All women. Yeah.
You got to worship.
Yep. Worship. Anyway.
Yeah.
So what's new? Besides that, I mean, I shared all your stuff out everywhere.
Oh, you're crazy, man. I love you for doing it, though. You're crazy. I popped in. I saw that post, the insight, or I see it's been shared like 45 times. And I said, 45 times?
Who the hell would do something like that?
It's you 45 times. That post was probably double posted in 25 groups. Yeah. There are
I usually apologize to them all. I usually apologize. I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Yeah, I see.
If they give me a warning or something, then I'm like, yeah, you're all right. Well, cool. We'll put it down, and then I won't share there. I'll let you guys share.
Well, the part of it that's okay is that most of the groups that I post in are groups that I've been posting in since the beginning. Like when I look at my content in those groups, I got 60, 70 posts in the majority of them, right? So they're used to seeing my name come across. So I don't have too much trouble, but also don't really promote anything I sell in those rooms. It's just what I give away, my knowledge. And I tend to stick with, some of the groups that I manage, my own feed, of course, and a couple of places like that when I'm actually, trying to sell a Donald Trump mug or, you know what I mean, sweatshirts or hoodies or T-shirts. But this cultivating journal, it's different because there are a lot of growers on Facebook and a lot of novice growers and a lot of new growers. And this is really beneficial. Like it's an important thing. If you're serious about cultivation, you have to really track what you do, right? You have to pay attention. You have to be meticulous about it. You need to pay attention to temperature and humidity and, what you're feeding and your regimen you need to increase on a weekly. And so it's not just a journal, but in each section, it gives you parameters you should be looking for, temperatures you should be keeping your grow room at, humidity, the way you should be structuring your feeds. You know what I mean? So there's little in between each section. There's
Dude, we're on the air. Dude, keep working. Dude,
oh, are we back?
We're on the air. Come on, we're on the air. Stay with it. Oh, pardon us. He's got a little bit of a cough over there. He'll be right back.
Who is that?
I'm talking about you, my man.
I got a cough.
You're frozen like crazy. I'm covering for you. I'm trying to cover for you, man.
Yeah, it's brutal, eh?
It's okay, because when you come into Montreal and you start living in your new location, everything's going to be wonderful.
That's for sure. That's the link there, because Tim said he couldn't find it, but that's exactly what it is right there. So if you're looking, that's where it'll be.
Yeah. I shared it out to a whole bunch of mushroom growers too.
Oh, I know you put it everywhere. But this is important. Like, this is
probably, really, if they grow mushrooms, they probably grow weed. They just hang out.
It's something useful, right? And people are selling these in various places in like a real printed form. But in that printed form, you can only use it once. You know what I mean? So you're going to pay, I've seen some of them $40, $50. So you're going to pay that for a book you can only use one time, because once you filled it out, you filled it out. You know what I mean? You can't, you have the record, but you can't use it again or again or again. But the difference is what I did is you can use it every single time you grow. If you grow for the next 20 years, you can simply print this out, punch some holes in it, and stick it in a binder and maintain harvest after harvest after harvest after harvest. You know what I mean? Yeah, for
And then
that
take
one
your
price,
time
so
and figure out which ones are the ones that are working best for you and the ones
yeah,
that are, and then you start to combine and make better and make better and better and better. Sorry.
and actually I did a package deal, right? Because I did one for like medical journaling for people who are using cannabis as medicine, so they can track their experience and
Buy one,
try to
get one
understand what
free.
works for them. No, but I put them both into a bundle for under
The
$20.
low price of $120.
$20. That's it. And you'll have them both forever because really what you need is
$20 or 120? I thought I heard
20,
100.
$20, man.
Oh,
That's it.
$20. Ooh, ooh.
Yep, $20.
You're
That's
like,
it.
damn, $120, man. I know you put a lot of work into that shit, but damn.
No, no, no. But it's a one-time purchase, and then you can use it
Oh yeah,
forever.
no, 20 is
So
reasonable. Thank you for
yeah,
your reasonableness. But when you said 120, I thought you said 120.
no,
I was like,
no, no, no,
damn.
not me.
All right. Anyway, what else? I got a lot of stories up there. Do we have
Good.
any guests that want to come up and tell stories? Come on, Garrett. You got a friend request me on Facebook.
Yeah, it's the only way we can get you in here.
Guy
It's the
underscore
only way we
E.
can get you in. No, no, never 120.
It sounded like he said 120. I
No,
heard maybe the way he freezes up a little bit,
yeah, like I don't. I'm not really in this to like make money, right? Um, I do it for passion. It's because I'm passionate about it. It's because I believe in it. It's because I want to help people. Through good fortune, I've had exposure to this industry, and I've had exposure to a lot of people, and I've been lucky enough to have that. So I just want to share the knowledge that I have with people. The reason that I do anything with this Etsy store, any of it, is because running the website costs money. Using the softwares I have to use to create the art costs money. I mean, it all costs money, right? So I'm okay with really not earning money while I do this because my wife is kind enough to allow me to without having to have and go take a job. But I still would like to be able to cover my expenses, right? And what that is. So this is all this really does. I don't really make any money, that's for sure. But it makes it, I think this is just really useful for people. That's all. You know? So story. What do you got?
Oh, up here? I got some. Nothing great. They weren't really great stories.
Yeah,
Um,
well, they still inspire conversation for the most part.
oh yeah. States with weaker marijuana laws see more impaired driving, reports say. States
What do
with
they,
less what?
I was just going to say, what do they mean by weaker marijuana laws?
Well, states with less restrictive marijuana policies have a higher incidence of residents driving while high, a new report finds. The Drug Free America Foundation released a new report showing that states that have legalized or weakened restrictions around high THC marijuana, either for medical or recreational use, saw a 32% more marijuana impaired driving than states that have adopted the same policies. Sorry. According to the DFAF, the 18 states with less restrictive marijuana policies have seen far more cases of impaired driving of this kind, some that medical research shows can be very dangerous. In 2017, 8 states had adopted full recreational marijuana programs: Alaska, California, Colorado, Maine, Massachusetts, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington. and 10 states had enacted higher THC medical programs. Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Illinois, Maryland, Minnesota, New York, Ohio, Rhode Island, and Vermont. The report said, incidentally, 7 of these states have since adopted full recreational programs. Adding to the concern is the fact that the facilities in the U.S. from marijuana impaired drivers has risen dramatically between 2000. Should I
So,
continue?
no, I think we're good for a moment. Um, my curiosity is I would like to see side by side statistics of the number of impaired driving deaths where alcohol was in a person's system, and then I'd like to see the number of THC related deaths where only THC was found in the person's system outside of being normal. Because really, they're not comparing things equally, right? Because let's say that they find THC in somebody's blood, but they also had a 0.07 blood alcohol level, which is below the impaired limit. But if you are on the edge of impairment and you smoke a joint, it could sometimes just push you right over the edge, right? So cannabis may have played a role in that particular fatality and accident. But I'd really like to see the cases where only THC is present in the blood that's outside of the norm. No alcohol, no prescription oxys or any of this kind of stuff. And let's see what the real numbers are. But I don't think we'll see those come out very soon because it'll go counter to what the propaganda wants to be, I think. I could be wrong.
I feel, like when you're out drinking, you're more likely to add to your drinking experience once you start to catch a little buzz by adding some marijuana to your intoxication, which
yeah, because it sounded like a good idea at the time.
Right. But I feel like that may be involved in some of that reports as well, like they're not counting out, there was marijuana in that guy, but there was also, a case of beer in that fella as well. They're just blaming marijuana. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. No, and they will, right? If there's a smell of weed in the car.
Right. They're going to blame the weed and the alcohol,
but when they do that, in the vehicle.
Right. They're going to blame the weed and the alcohol, but then when they read when they do when these guys do their research, they look, oh, weed, there's one. Oh, another one with weed. Oh, another one. They're not even looking at the alcohol part,
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, it's, there's still a lot of stigma and, people who are trying to influence the other side of the coin, right? Who don't think cannabis should be legal, who don't, and who knows who they speak for, right? Who knows who advertises on their platform, who puts the money up so that they have a job writing these articles or putting together this sort of stuff, right? Let's start looking deeper into the motivations behind individuals who write these type of reports,
Right.
And a lot of times it's the wording that kind of tips you off because it's not just straight facts. There's always like opinion in there, or they'll throw in some stoner slang. You know what I mean? They'll throw in some sort of way.
If they want it to sound bad, they're going to throw in the stoner slang, and they're going to throw in
and that way they do it like they can always turn around and say, "Oh, it's just trying to be funny," right? But it's not. It's a dig.
Right.
It's a dig. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
totally get it.
So, but yeah, I'd be curious. I don't think that smoking weed and driving is good. I think you should really wait after you smoke to drive. There was a time that I had a completely different opinion. One of my favorite things was to go for a long ride and smoke joints and crank the music, on a beautiful day or whatever. But I know that there is some impairment that comes with cannabis, absolutely, because when I'm working on my computer and I smoke a joint or I hit my vape pen, and I'm trying to move that mouse around, I know that it takes a little more focus after I smoke the joint than it did before, you know? So there's definitely some sort of, you know, impairment that goes on, but there's two things to consider, right? Is the person a recreational user or are they a medical user? Because I think it should be two very different standards. Because a recreational user, you have a choice to decide when you wish to get high. As a medical patient, you need to have cannabis in your system all the time in order to address the condition that you're trying to deal with. So, it should be different standards for both.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I drive not very often at all. I try not to drive because I hate it. But you know, when I do drive, I may or may not have a little marijuana in my system.
Well, you always do, like I always
Oh,
do. It's always there,
don't tell everybody.
never leaves. It's just as it hasn't been activated to its higher level at the particular moment. But you
Well,
know,
that's what I figure. I mean, no matter what, they're gonna test me and I'm gonna fail. So
yep,
what's the sense of not, why be scared driving and fear for my life when I take a hit or two and I'm feeling okay? I'm like, all right, I can do this.
yeah, but you're using it to ease your anxiety and your PTSD over being in a vehicle and driving. You know what I mean? Like you have
Sometimes
memories.
it's worse. It's worse being in the passenger seat. And I was the
Well,
driver
then you have
that
no control, right?
right. I was the driver of the day that my
Yeah,
accident, and now it's worse in the passenger seat. I swear my anxiety is so much worse.
yeah,
When I'm driving, at least I know I'm in control. I can drive on the white line if I need to get away from people that are coming too close to me, I have control,
yeah.
but I don't want to ever drive. I hate it. I want my
Yeah, it's a
forces
tough one,
above
man.
me.
Considering it's not like you live in downtown of Philadelphia or Pittsburgh, right?
Oh, no, no,
Not driving is an issue
yeah,
for you to some
it's
extent.
at least a mile to the closest store.
Yeah, so you know, but that's why it's got to be different standards for whether you make it as a decision or whether it's a necessary part of your life. That's how driving cannabis in your system should be
Yeah,
determined. And
it's
worst comes to worst,
I
we're in a
don't
state
wanna
where you can get a
drive in that
prescription. Get a
situation, you know what I mean? Like, I don't wanna drive under the influence,
huh?
I don't wanna drive under the influence, that's not my goal. That's why I don't drive at all, I try not to ever drive, Mrs. Hippie
No,
doesn't
and
take
and
drugs
you'll
either.
you'll actually, but you take it seriously because you don't really even want to hop in the car and go to the dispensary if by yourself. So that's saying
That's way
something right there. You know what I mean?
that's way too far, bro, that's way too far,
Yeah,
that's like 10 miles or something like that, that's crazy.
yeah. So you know.
And it's like highway or really crazy traffic way, there's no good way to get there, no back roads.
Well, that's part of the reason I would suggest to anybody if you're a cannabis user and you have the justification to get the prescription because one day it might protect your ass from an impaired driving charge with THC present. Because there's plenty of science that shows that regular cannabis users always have elevated levels of THC in their blood. I know for me, when I got tested a few years back, I had 1,349 nanograms per milliliter or something like that there. And the legal limit's like zero point zero 0.08 or zero point 0.8. So, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
I know
that's
how
really
that is. And I was 2 days without smoking and took a detox drink and still tested at that level. So, as far as impairment's concerned, if the cops ever decided to test like that, then I would always technically be impaired.
Oh,
So
I
I
am
think it's good to have a medical justification for it and a prescription because the science shows that to be the case. Even if you didn't get high for a day or two, you're still
yeah,
like
but
that.
I feel
So,
like you're right 100%, but depending on where you live in the country or in the world is depending on how the police are gonna treat you with your card, whether you have one or not. Some places don't even care if you have a
Listen,
card.
the
They're like,
police,
"Fuck you
the
and your
police don't
card."
matter. The police don't matter, and that's what people don't understand. The police are nothing. They're nobody. They are couriers. That's it. They are couriers. They can decide whether to press charges against you or not based upon a particular situation, but they are not your judge and they are not your jury. They are simply required to fill out the details of a specific incident and provide it to the court for the court to make a decision. Doesn't matter what those cops think of your medical certification, your prescription, any of it. Fuck them. It makes no difference. It's for a
I'm gonna
judge to
tell
decide.
them that when Dr.High, when they say,
That's
I'm gonna
what
say, "Fuck
that's what people
you,
don't.
Dr.High
No,
said you don't matter to me."
people really are afraid of police. You only you never got to be afraid of the police. You have to act properly. You have to act respectfully. You have to comply with what they ask you to do so that you don't get shot, especially in the States, like that pregnant girl recently. Um, you have to comply like that to protect your own safety. But the thing is that when your interaction is finished with the police, they don't have nothing to say about nothing unless they're testifying because they witnessed you hit your girl, steal something from the store, or there's somebody to testify to that. Outside of that, you go into a courtroom and a judge only has a statement of facts from the police about the incident. He looks at that. Your lawyer tells the judge your side of the story. The judge makes a decision. Period. You know what I mean? It's really that simple. So if you have that medical prescription, at that point in time, your lawyer should be smart enough to do a bit of research on THC and how long it stays in the body. And anybody with half a sense or has ever even questioned this knows the truth to it. So it stays in your system for a really long time. And the science has proven that. So the judge can't throw out or not consider the fact that you are a patient. The judge can't do it. If your state has made it legal, then the only way you can really have a problem is if you go from your legal state. So if you go from one state to the next, a legal state to an illegal state, or it doesn't even matter, legal state to legal state, now you're in a federal jurisdiction because you've had the cannabis in two different places, in two different states. You cross the state line, and that becomes
Oh,
a
wait,
federal issue.
whoa, simmer down now. If I am in Pennsylvania and I'm going to visit my in-laws in a state close by, I drive and I take my medicine with me, I'm in trouble for bringing my medicine with me?
Potentially, because that's interstate transport. And technically, if a cop wanted to be an asshole with you, they could get you on interstate transportation, and then if the prosecutor wanted to be a real asshole, he would refer it to a federal prosecutor, a U.S. attorney. And if a U.S. attorney decided to pick up that case, then yeah, you really could go down that path. This is how they get some guys with guns, right? Because guns are made all over the United States, and so is ammunition. So let's say you get caught in New Hampshire with a handgun, but the bullets that are in the gun, the ammunition that's in the gun, has been manufactured in Massachusetts. Now they can put a federal gun charge on you because the gun comes from one state and the bullets come from another. You know what I mean? Like it's really crazy. But when they want to screw with you, they have ways they can do it. So you're most likely not going to encounter a problem. You know what I mean? Like a reasonable police officer would look at your documentation and then either just seize the product from you for destruction or let you on your way with some compassion. But you can't count on these guys for that because maybe they woke up this morning wanting a blowjob and their wife told them to go fuck themselves. She's been giving a blowjob to the neighbor while they're at work. You don't fucking know. You know what I mean? You don't know what's happening in a guy's life. So sometimes, people could be assholes if they just had a morning like that. So you take your chances, man. You take your chances.
Now,
But
if
I
it's a
wouldn't
legal
worry.
state, what if it's a legal state that I'm going into?
Well, then they're going to have to prove that you got the product in one state and brought it to the next. So for you, the fact that you got your prescription label on the bottle would probably be all they need to know.
Right.
And if you're going to a legal, just buy it in the legal state so that it's either got that state seal on it, like if it's New Jersey or whatever, if their batch lots are tracked, they could just check that batch number through whatever registry and see that it's a legal product sold in New Jersey. And if you're caught in New Jersey with it, no big deal because it's legal.
Yeah, I guess.
But you just got to be careful with the world. It's kind of crazy out there. Like, look what they're giving to these guys from that January 6th stuff. They're giving them big time. 18 years, 15 years, 16 years. That's a long time, man, especially when you're already 45 years old. If they want to get you, they will.
Yep. We are
All right,
late.
next story.
No, we're way late on a commercial, way late on 420 songs. We just talked right through everything.
This is 420 plus 14.
We'll be right back after the commercials.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're going to go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you going to do? You're going to go grocery shopping. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You got to dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. No, you won't. Because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. You go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Be the best caregiver. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree.
Hey, Chris, what's up, buddy?
Kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6.
Good morning,
That little
everybody.
girl
Thank you
sitting
so
alone
much
at the
for being
playground,
here. Share,
She can't play like the other
smash
kids.
that
She
like.
doesn't have the energy
They
because
said
she's
something
hungry.
about like keeping the
School
chat
lunch will be her
going.
only meal
The
today.
algorithm.
It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our
will
country,
get
but
caught
it's
up,
something
and
that
then you'll
Feeding
get
America
more
is
people will
working to
join.
change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would
I'll
have gone
figure
to
this
waste.
shit out someday.
This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you wanting to have some crocheted made by hand stuff like your Grammy used to do for you? Then you need to check out You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy and TikTok. Vern can do what you need. She crochets hats, she crochets animals, everything, anything you may need. She also makes vinyl stickers, banners for your business. Anything that you might want that she can do, she can definitely do it for you. On an sticker, she's got you covered. Anything, and I mean anything that you may need, she has cheap and reasonable prices. Check her out. You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy and TikTok.
What's that?
Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. If you need some kick-ass puppets, contact Thorge at 1-636-234-1535. He has all your puppet needs. He can fix puppets, build puppets, custom-made puppets. He has puppets off the rack for cheap prices. Contact Sorge today at 1-636-234-1535 or on TikTok or Facebook at Badger Heart Puppetry. He also makes LARPing items, too.
Oh, yeah, babe, it's more sticky, and you need to get trippy with the Fun Guy Tim's Trippin' Radio Show, 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern every night, right here on WTHC Radio. Whoa, 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 whoa.
WTHC, welcome back, everybody. We're hanging. It's Da.Hippie and DoktorHigh. We're having a mellow day today. We're chilling out. We're talking. We're hanging. We got questions. Anybody has any questions, please feel free to put them over there in the chat.
Yeah.
Dr.
Just
High,
going through the chat there, I didn't see a lot of it. Kelly got away with the pen in the water park. That's always nice. But that's just some kid searching, right? He probably looked at it and thought, fuck, I wish I had that.
Awesome, Tim. Thank you.
What's up, Chris? How are you this morning? Danica Patrick is a fox. Does she still drive?
I don't know. She does a commercial.
Such a big deal when she come in to racing. Pauly Shore.
Yep.
Biodome. I always loved that movie Biodome, where they sat inside that little room, huffing the nitrous oxide, throwing the syringes at each other.
Oh, no, she retired a few years ago.
Did she?
That's what they're saying.
She made enough money. It was time to go. You know, it's a dangerous game anyway. So I guess once you're all set financially, time to bail.
Crazy.
Or you end up like Michael Schumacher.
Yeah. Don't know who that was.
Oh, man, he was the greatest race car driver, Formula One driver ever. But actually, you know, he's like a vegetable now. But that was from a skiing accident. He was head on a tree while he was skiing.
Wow. That sucked.
Ruined his whole shit. Like now you don't, sad story. There's a documentary about it.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Pretty messed up, Pretty messed up for sure.
Dude, those 40 other dudes were never gonna. Those 42 other dudes were never gonna lose to a girl.
Oh, nice. Pauly Shore must be getting kind of old now. I haven't seen him in quite some time.
I don't know. Yeah. I see him every once in a while. I think he's on TikTok. Come on, wake up, man. All right, you awake? You awake?
I'm awake.
Oh, okay.
I'm awake.
You were frozen again.
So
again, frozen.
what?
Are you back?
No. Yes. I'm back.
I hear small children.
No, that's my wife talking to the dog.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Yeah, gray and wrinkled, but still goofy idiot. First time Biodome. That's funny. The guy from Smash Mouth, I saw that he died. He was only 56. That hits home, man, because I'm 56. I don't like seeing that kind of shit.
Yeah, that's scary stuff. You see that?
Disease, eh? Yeah. Must have been a hard drinker in those days. Should have stuck with the weed. Been around till he was 90.
Right. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. So what do you got for a story? Got another story?
Yeah. Hold on. I was in the process of cleaning my eyes. My glasses. I couldn't see.
I know. I hate smudged glasses.
All right. Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Las Vegas. This Las Vegas scam and hustle is huge, and it is designed to get tourists. Travel experts warn about fake marijuana dispensaries on the strip.
Hmm.
Hold on. Hold on. I might be able to stream.
A fake dispensary.
You've heard of some?
How can it be fake?
I don't understand.
What?
Let me see. I'm trying to share it. Hold on.
Oh,
There might be a story.
you know, there's a really incredible dispensary in Vegas.
Can
Like
you see
it's the
that?
biggest one. Not yet. It's still loading. What's that on TikTok?
Looks like it's coming from TikTok. A
Oh,
related video.
It's hard to believe then.
I
Go ahead.
believe everything.
Let's see it.
This is not the story to dump. Okay. It's
Oh,
not,
you can have a dispensary.
it's not a similar story.
I mean, you could fake like the products in the gas station and that
Right,
for
here we
sure.
go. As the
Do that.
legalization of cannabis in certain states has sparked tourist industry, one Las Vegas influencer reminds us to be extra careful of scams and misleading marketing. In the video, TikToker user blah blah blah, a well-known Las Vegas influencer with more than 1 million followers, breaks down how some stores in the city are scamming tourists into thinking they're buying THC products that will get them high. This Las Vegas scam and hustle is huge and is designed to get the tourist, Jen explains. See the shop? There is an implication that they're going to be selling you a certain kind of product that is legal here. None of these products are controlled substances. They are meant to look like they are, but they are fake. You can buy these products at a gas station. There's nothing but hemp in them. But the security would imply that this is the real deal. They use really deceptive signage, Jen explains. Should I go on? Are you even here?
No.
Am I hello?
But cannabis is legal recreationally in Nevada, and they have
well,
like
I
the
think
world's
that
biggest dispensary there.
that's what she's saying is that,
Yeah.
like these gas stations and other places are putting up signs saying they're selling weed, and people that are tourists who don't know are going into the wrong places and picking up shit that's hemp.
God knows what, right?
Yeah, or right.
Yeah, because they're probably selling products that are legal under the 2018 Farm Bill, but they probably don't have the license to sell the real product from the state.
You know what I want to talk to you about? I got a topic.
Right? They're gonna. Yeah, but I'm just thinking Vegas. They're savvy, so they're going to license those businesses, right? That are going to be allowed to sell those products, so that they can strip off whatever revenue they can pull off of them in taxation or whatever. So those real dispensaries would be under a state license, I would imagine. And then everybody else is operating under the 2018 Farm Bill, which means they can sell those products legally, like I do from my dispensary, but without a license from the state because it's federally legal, right? So that's probably what's going on. That would make sense.
Yes. All right. I got a couple topics. First of all, Garrett, yes, I smoked that. What you're talking about, the synthetic
spice?
weed, the spice, yeah.
I never did.
I tried it once and I knew it was something wrong with it, and I never went back. It was at the end of my block. I said, hey, they got something down there. I went down there. I tried it. I felt something different. I was like, this is not weed. This is shit. And I threw it away.
Yeah, I never tried that. No.
I may have continued to finish that bottle or whatever, but I never smoked it again after that.
You're so chronic, man.
I can't let it go. It looked like weed, man. It was real.
Like weed.
All right. So I've been noticing, and I don't know, maybe I'm just high, which is possible. But I've
Maybe.
been noticing that my bottles a lot lately. I feel like a lot more lately are labeled hardly any THC and all sorts of THCA.
Yeah, that's
Why?
not unusual. That's normal.
Why?
Well,
No,
because
because I remember when I was getting bottles years ago when I first started in the medical program here in Pennsylvania, it was all about the THC, and everybody was like, "How much THC?" Now I go in there, I don't even ask because you've taught me to go on from there. But
yeah,
we speak, and then I got a bottle today, and it's 36%, 34% THCA or whatever, 28% THC. I don't remember. I don't want
that's super high.
don't quote me, but
Yeah, that's super high. Like total cannabinoids. Anytime you get a total cannabinoid level above 30%, you're into stellar range, right? That's beyond the norm. Like most will come in somewhere between 16 and 25, 27. That's really the normal range. But let's say you have 25% total THC, total cannabinoid THC.
it could be 25. I don't remember.
Could be 21% THCA and 4% THC, or any combination up to that full 25%. And the reason that it's labeled that way, and the reason because that's what it is. When the plant is harvested, it's 95% THCA, 5% THC in your total THC cannabinoid profile. As you dry your weed, it starts to change. The THCA starts to convert to THC because there's an acid molecule in that chain that detaches through either drying time, storage time, or decarboxylation, which is what you do in the oven when you heat cannabis before you use it for edibles. And the reason you do decarboxylation is to remove that A from the THCA and convert it to THC so that it's bioavailable, so that your body can absorb it and get the high, because you can't get a high from THCA. So the same process, because that your body can't process that acidic molecule that's on the chain. All right. So how you doing, Tina? So that's why it's labeled THCA and THC, because that's really what there
is.
Good.
Back to work, huh? Let's go. Pick it up. Yeah, huh?
Yeah. We know that the process of heating cannabis, we know the process of heating.
Good Lord, why are you doing this to me?
I don't know. Drives me crazy.
Oh, I could only imagine how my friends out there on the radio feel when they're like, "What the hell is this dude doing?"
It's brutal.
And I'm like, "Hey, stand by. We're having technical difficulties. He's still freezing up over here." Hey.
Well, just a little over 3 weeks, and we'll be in better shape. I'll have a much better connection.
When we take off. Yeah.
Yeah, October 2nd. We'll be good to go.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell you were saying though.
So what I was saying was that we know that to remove the A from a THCA, we have to heat cannabis, right? So that's why it works in your joint, because you're rolling it into the joint. It's still a higher percentage of THCA than THC, but as that joint burns a little bit ahead of where the actual heater is, that acidic molecule is breaking off the chain due to the heat. The heat is actually helping it sever from the chain. So that's why by the time you puff on it, it's THC. But yeah, that's a normal thing. That's actually the correct way to label, would be the combination of both THCA and THC. And by adding those two together, you get your total THC content.
Can I ask you a question? So
Yep.
if I get one that's labeled more THC and less THCA, does that mean that that flower is older and I should go and click closer at the packaging date and stuff like
Well,
that? I mean,
yeah, well, there'd be a couple of things. Poor.
yeah, no, there's no things.
So it could either have been stored for a long time. It could either have been stored for a long time. It was poorly dried and too warm and too long, because that's when that will start to come off, right? So it depends on your testing, but we never tested wet product. So when we did our testing, the testing was done when the product was going from dry to cure. So it was already dry material when we tested, but it wasn't cured material. So because in that 30 days while you're curing, you're trying to get all your approvals from the government to just put the product to market when it's ready, right? Not have to wait another 30 days
That's
from
as
the
quick as
time your
possible,
cure is
yeah.
done to get it out. So we had to do it that way.
Right.
But the THCA is always very high at that time. And that's after anywhere from, let's say, 8 to 12, 13 days in drying. We'd
Right.
still have super high THC and low, or a
To
high
me-
THCA and low THC. So I would, if I saw that labeled that way, then that would be an indication for me to look deeper into that particular product and to try and understand why. And
While he's frozen, I'm going to do a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When
You
You're
just keep
Expecting.
freezing. I'll just keep
A
running
teenager.
commercials.
Learning the lingo.
Today, I'm going to help parents translate
wow,
teens.
Steve, man,
I had to get a
Someone
second
said
one in
something
that
is
first
on
hour, and we
fleek.
didn't get it in.
It's
So
exactly like
now it
saying,
gave me an
"That's
opportunity to
rad."
get it in at the
It
last
simply means
minute.
that something
Now
is
we can
awesome
go on.
or cool. Another one is
Try to get
totes.
two more in.
It's exactly like saying totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur.
Now where did he
Her
go?
knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed.
Dr. High.
Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Say bye-bye to bottled water. Holistic Health Water has certified medical-grade water ionizers that make 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a
Paging
5-micron
Dr.
filter
High.
that lasts
Paging
up to a
Dr.
year, and
High.
each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply
Dr.
attach
High,
to your
the
faucet
main
or
office,
install under your
please.
sink.
Dr. High.
Even get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free
Nice
ebook.
of you to
Plus,
show up.
pay for
it's
any
weird. It come back and it came back with the background.
Change your water
know.
and change your
I don't
life.
get it.
Ownyourwater.org.
Doesn't have the background.
WTHC, we're back. Dr. High took a break. He went and fixed his computer.
Yeah.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
And he's back now. He's got his background up. He's here. He's ready to work. Let's do it. Are you ready? What do we do?
I don't know.
Aging.
We were talking about why your labeling has higher THCA than THC, and if that was a concern.
No, I knew that, I know the whole THC story, THCA story you've been telling me. And I just thought that maybe it's a newer thing, because if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, I'm stoned. I remember back in the day, I felt like you just saw more of the THC. You didn't really see everybody was like, what's this THCA? And why is some of my percentage over there now? What's that all about? And then all of a sudden, little by little, it's gone to hardly any THC, and now it's all THCA.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of a sign towards where things are maturing, right? A little bit. In the beginning, they weren't labeling as accurately as they should have been. You know what I mean?
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's a good sign.
At least they're going now. See, you're seeing a lot more terpenes on the labels now. You're seeing a lot more things like CBG or CBN or CBC. So they're starting to evolve in their in the information that they bring to the consumer to make a decision. And you need to stand out, right? If you can't smell the bag first, if you can't touch the weed, if you can't see the product, like for the most time in the dispensary setting, you're buying blind. You know what I mean? You can't use any of those traditional methods of purchasing cannabis like we always used to. So all you have left is the label. And I think that they're finding that consumers are becoming a little more savvy about what is in the plant. And they're learning a little bit about what the different cannabinoids can be beneficial for and some of the terpenes, because the information is just coming out more, right? And companies that want to set themselves a bit apart from the competition will maybe be more inclined to bring as much pertinent information to the consumer as possible.
You know what I like?
You only have that couple of seconds to.
Yeah. Maybe you were doing so well, and then I spoke, and now look. You know what I like? I like cereal in the morning. No.
Ice cream.
I like ice cream. No, you know what I like? I like that our friends up at TH&C, they have their containers right there in front of you, and you can see the flower, and you're like, all right, let me see that one. And then they bring it down, and then they weigh it right there in front of you. And then I'm pretty sure it goes into a clear see-through plastic bag, like if I were getting it off the street with a label on it. Or I've seen other people, like my friend Jeff, when he was staying in North Dakota, he would get a bag, and it would come in a clear bag, like you were getting it off the shady guy off the street, except for it had a label on it, and it had all of his terpenes and all of his information on it. I like that better than this container shit that I can't even see in to see if it's crusty and dusty or if it looks fresh.
And that's one of the reasons I like doing most of my cannabis shopping on First Nations land on the reservation, right? Tyendinaga, because it's the same here. You can see that jar, you can pop it open, I can smell it, I can pull it a bud and look at it. I don't know if they let everybody do it, but I know they let everybody smell it or whatever, but they actually let me handle it. And then so you get back that traditional method, right? The nose, the feel, the everything you need to make a decision.
I don't even need to touch it, like I have enough knowledge that I can see if the shit's gonna dust up and fall apart when I look at it, like I don't even want to touch it. Just let me smell it, let me see it, and that's all. I don't need to touch it. I don't want people touching my weed, I don't want somebody in there fondling around with my buds and then putting it back and saying, no, I'm going to go with something else.
The guys I deal with are funny because when I buy vape pens, he'll open it right there in the store. He'll be like, well, try it here. Check it out.
Good day, Steve. I mean?
And I'll take a hit off it right there in the store, and I'll be like, yeah, that's nice. Or, and he'll be like, here, try this one. So, works out to be okay. I want to be able to see absolutely. I mean, this is all the traditional way, especially Coy. I think you said earlier you were 58, so we're from the same generation. And if you've been smoking as long as I have, it's only the last couple of years I couldn't see the weed I was buying before I bought it. You know, they're funny in Canada. They got little smell boxes. So they have these little acrylic boxes where they'll have one bud from that particular strain inside and this little like rubber cap on there, right? So you can pick it up and look at the bud, and then you can lift a little cap and you can have a smell of what it is, and then it seals back up again. And they're crazy, man. They even will have one with like some coffee beans in it, so you can cleanse your palate between them. But the thing is once that bud's been sitting in there for a couple of hours, then the fucking odor's not right anymore anyway.
I'm gonna have to smoke it. Can't just sit around for a couple hours.
So you're a lot like me, Coy. I've been smoking since I was 11. So you got a couple of years on me. You got a couple of years on me. Yeah, sandwich bags are perfect, but they're really not the perfect. They're not the perfect storage.
Well, that's fine. Give me a container when I get home. I'll put it in my container. You know.
The optimum storage. Go. The optimum storage for cannabis is glass. Glass is the best way to store your weed. Because even the plastic, the trichromes will stick to it, eh? Like, look at your baggie. When you're done your bag, and you'll see all the trichrome that's stuck to the bag. It's no longer clear. It's got like a coating on it, right? So glass is really the best way for a long-term storage, especially like if you're a grower.
I got a couple different glass. Yeah, mason jars. I got a couple of them ones that say Wheaties on them. You know,
I used to buy the big ones from the dollar store. Yeah, I used to buy the big ones from the dollar store that have that little chalk panel on it, so you can write on them.
Yeah,
and that's how I would keep track of my strains. Right, I'd have those big glass jars with the strain on there, the harvest date, and then I could keep track. Because at one point when I was doing that medical grow, man, I think at one point we had like 9 strains on the go in there. You know, like we had a lot of variety. Blue Dream, Pink Kush, Purple Kush, Kosher Kush.
Now, this seed that I got from this young gentleman, it had a name on it. I may have lost the name. No, the card's over here somewhere. That would be the name of my strain on there. Phoenix.
Most likely, yep.
Phoenix something.
Yep. Most likely that'd be your strain name.
Yeah. I'm very
or it's the name of the genetics guy who created the strain. You know, I can't say one or the other.
I think him and Dad were doing it all. This young gentleman, he was in his early 20s or mid 20s, maybe. Yeah. And him and his father have been working on it together for years. I like I said last night, that thing went whoop, another an inch, and a whole bunch of crotch work, a lot of crotch work.
Most dispensaries around me. Are you anywhere near Lord Leaf Cycle? He's a big cannabis guy on Facebook. He's looking for a rep.
Wish we could hear what you were saying. Say that again in English.
This guy's looking for a sales rep in Michigan. Yeah. No, I was reading his post this morning, and he's looking for a sales rep in Michigan.
Very cool. I will. I'll take over for here. So, Dr. High. Well, I'm down.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Now he disappeared.
Come on in. Come on. No, it's super hot out today.
Oh yeah,
it's super hot out today, and my highly intelligent beast likes to go outside and lay on the concrete in the sun, and then come inside and collapse onto the cold floor. So,
hi, Douglas.
What's up, Doug?
Most of my buddies work in the industry around here.
Yeah, Tim, take a look at Lord Leaf Cycle on Facebook. He's the one who made the post, but he's got a legit business going on there in Michigan.
I'm looking for a job in the weed industry.
Fuck, I was so busy doing what I was doing today, I forgot to call back the guys who called me on Friday.
About a job?
Yeah, in Montreal.
You might be too late now.
Nah, it's going to be their loss anyway. But
cool. All right, so I have another story.
Okay.
New York drug crisis. Huge surge in children getting sick from cannabis-laced sweets. Cases of children getting accidentally high and in some cases sick are surging in New York after they unknowingly ingested cannabis-laced sweets. Oh, Stony Brook University Hospital on Long Island has reported the number of children coming in with prolonged or serious toxic exposure tripled over the pandemic. Several children were admitted to the hospital after adults left marijuana-laced edibles such as gummies laying around for the children to eat. According to the hospital, cases rose just 5 in 2020 to 14 in 2021, and then 13 cases last year. Kids are excited to get candy, says Dr.
13 cases, and they're saying it's skyrocketed?
It is very huge. A pediatrician for
13 cases in a whole state.
No, that's just on Long Island, I'm sure.
Oh.
We had a grandma who passed a cannabis edible to a child by mistake, says the doctor. The surge in cases comes after the state expanded its legalization of marijuana for adult use in 2021. It also comes after a huge surge in emerging smoke shops.
Yes, there we go.
The story continues. Should I go on?
Well, let's start from here. 9 legal dispensaries in New York State, right? So
I wanted to ask you that. So 9 legal. So you're talking like Columbia.
License.
I'm not saying like
they may have multiple locations.
They have multiple locations. That was what.
Yeah, but they're licensees, right? So they may have 10 stores or whatever.
100 locations, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Right. Okay.
But I guarantee you, if they back check on all those kids that got sick, none of them got sick from edibles that came from a legal dispensary. The ones that got sick were the ones whose parents were purchasing these street products that are packaged to look like the candy you get from the store. So, these guys package it because it's all about the marketing, right? So they package it to look like Skittles or to look like Smarties or to look like Haribo gummies.
Dr. High, can I interrupt you for a second? Is it safe to say that if you're getting a gummy that looks like a candy from a store or even a store not in your area, but it looks like candy, is it safe to say that it is not a real edible and that it is probably a fake?
Well, I wouldn't say.
I mean, I don't think that my store, first off, my store doesn't even sell edibles, any of my dispensaries in my state. But if you do sell them, wouldn't they have like some sort of a plain packaging, not a package that would entice children?
In Canada, they do. In Canada, they have the plain packaging, everything. It's childproof packaging, so it can't be easily opened by children.
It doesn't look like gummy worms. It
doesn't look like anything appealing to children.
Right.
It's just a plain, boring package. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right. That would make sense. So, but if I was a purchaser of something out there in the world and I came across something that said, let's just say gummy worms, and they're in a bag and it looks like gummy worms, but then it says THC on there.
Yeah.
I would feel not too safe about it. My personal opinion. Now, that doesn't mean you guys have to feel that way, but I would
But
feel that that's not coming from a place that's giving out quality stuff.
well, it's coming from a place that is self-manufactured, but not under license or regulation, right? So I can go on the res here. I can go into Tyne-Danego and buy all those colorful candy packaged edibles and stuff like that. And
Oh, okay.
but only on the res, right? Not in any legal distribution outlet outside of that First Nations territory. Now, from my experience with what they're doing, it's a small community, right? It's a closed community. And they're keeping the industry for themselves as they should on their land. So you have some very conscientious individuals that are producing product there and then packaging it in this colorful and appealing way. Those edibles I don't feel so uncomfortable about because I understand their transition to market, right? I understand their pathway, their starting point, and their end point. But these are the kind of packaging that get children into trouble because they're not reading that where one might be called Skittles, this one is called Zittles, right? Or
with a Z on the end.
Yeah. So the kids aren't making that discernation. So that's really up to the parents to be careful. I mean, a parent wouldn't leave a bottle of Oxy on the coffee table unattended for their kids to get at. But the chances are that the kids couldn't get in because it's childproof packaging, right? On your bottle of Oxy, or it's supposed to be. Should be. Right? So it's really what this all comes back to. It's about being responsible and treating it for what it is. If you have children around, then you should not be leaving things accessible. You don't leave a glass of vodka sitting there for the kids to drink. But the difference is the vodka doesn't look appealing to a child. But that candy package sure does. You know?
Yeah. I'm going to be responsible, and I am going to do a commercial. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. You're
All right.
hanging with Da.Hippie and DoktorHigh.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now.
No,
You're going to go out
not
there.
a commercial. We're
and
coming
be an
up with
all-star
the names
caregiver.
of the show.
It's up to you. So what are you going to do? You're going to go grocery shopping. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You got to dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. No, you won't. Because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough.
We teach healthy cannabis.
And be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Say bye-bye to bottled water. Holistic Health Water has certified medical-grade water ionizers that make 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink. Even get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free ebook. Plus, pay for any machine in full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. Ownyourwater.org.
Hey, Mrs. Hippie, why don't we take a ride to Dauphin, PA today?
Dauphin? What's in Dauphin?
Bella's badass crystals.
Oh, but I thought you hang out with them on Facebook and on TikTok.
That's only on Mondays, Tuesdays, Saturdays, Sundays. Today, I want to go there and pick up all my great finds.
That sounds like a great road trip. That's Bella's Badass Crystals on TikTok and Facebook, but you can also find them at the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
They are badass.
Badass motherfucker.
I'm a stoner, a roller, a real dope smoker, toker, a loner, dope smoke choker, play poker with owners for pounds that they're growing, tobacco in the bone with trees, real smoker. I'm a stoner, a real dope smoker, toker, a loner, dope smoke choker, play poker with owners for pounds that they're growing, tobacco in the bone with trees, real moker. I'm a real 100 double O's at the end. I keep it real shit, I don't play pretend. Don't beg, fuck handouts, I earn dividends. Pay my way to the table, hard work with my friends. Don't trip, small shit gon' turn to big hits. Fucking up the game with missions of success. Word, that's with my team, we gon' plan for the best. Shout out cuz gon' eat with our friends. Roll a J, put the hash in it. Hit it twice, then I'm passing it. Got a ash, then we tapping it. Got a ash, then we tapping it. Roll a J, put the hash in it. Hit it twice, then I'm passing it. Got a ash, then we tapping it.
Hi from Arizona.
Got a ash, then we tapping it. I'm a stoner, a roller, a real dope smoker, toker, a loner, dope smoke choker, play poker with.
Oh, this is a bad one.
Growing tobacco in the bong with trees, real moker. I'm a stoner, a roller, a real dope smoker, toker, a loner, dope smoke choker, play poker with owners for pounds that they're growing, tobacco in the bong with trees, real moker. Fact is I'm up, y'all can never put me down. Smile on my face, there won't never be a frown. 10 toes on the floor, so I'm walking on the ground. Smoking the air, equivalent to a pound. I'm happy, no ego, I'm me, who are you? Blaze from the hash in a row, keep me cool. Don't need nobody, myself, not a fool. My brothers around, they licensed the tool. Fact is I'm up, y'all can never put me down. Smile on my face, it won't never be a frown. 10 toes on the floor.
How's it going out there in Arizona?
Smoking the air, equivalent to a pound. I'm happy, no ego, I'm me, who are you? Blaze from the hash in the road, keep me cool. Don't need nobody, myself, not a fool. My brothers around, they licensed the tool.
Highly educated smoke show. How's it going in Arizona today?
WTHC, we're back and hanging with the Hippie and Dr. High. What's going on, Dr. High?
So I'm just reading something that's pretty crazy. Do we have anybody out there from North Carolina?
Yeah, Douglas is from North
Because
Carolina.
we got anybody from North Carolina, do not vote for Chuck Edwards, the Republican from North Carolina. The guy's a shitbag. And I'll tell you why right now. Legislation introduced on Friday by a North Carolina congressman seeks to slash a portion of federal funding to individual U.S. states as well as native tribes that legalize marijuana. The so-called Stop Pot Act, sponsored by U.S. Republican Chuck Edwards, U.S. Representative Chuck Edwards, would withhold 10% of federal highway funding to jurisdictions in which the purchase or public possession of marijuana for recreational purposes is lawful. Introduction of the bill comes less than a week before a tribe in Edwards' home state votes on the adult use marijuana legalization referendum. Edwards argues that state and tribal laws allowing cannabis use by adults are an affront to U.S. law. The laws of any government should not infringe on the overall laws of the nation, and federal funds should not be awarded to jurisdictions that willfully ignore federal law, he said in a press release. During a time when our communities are seeing unprecedented crime, drug addiction, and mental illness, the Stop Pot Act will help prevent even greater access to drugs, to marijuana, not to drugs, and ease the strain placed on our local law enforcement and mental health professionals who are already stretched thin. What a fucking idiot this guy is. You know, um, once again, cannabis being lumped in with other drugs. You know what I mean? Cannabis does not lead to higher crime unless it's between rival gangs selling drugs in a place where it's illegal to buy them openly.
Or like, yo, my man didn't pay me for my bag of weed, man. I'm gonna kick his ass.
Yeah, but that's only a problem in states where it's illegal and people are forced to go into the black market, right? Or there's money in the black market for it. So legalization solves that problem right there.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's that crime. That's the only crime I've seen. Is that bitch
there is no evidence that marijuana leads to other drugs or has high potential for addiction. So that goes out the window.
I'm gonna say something. You know what? Back in when we were children and they were pounding at us in our heads that it was it kind of made everybody wanna, like you were saying the other day, like we were talking about the other day, like they lied to me and they told me that weed was no good, but meanwhile I feel great. And
Yeah, the lie was the
lied to
gateway,
me
not
and
the
they
weed.
told me that cocaine was no good, and I felt great, but it was no good. But it was no good.
Yeah, I mean it is no good in the long run.
Right. There's no benefit from it,
but it's because they lump marijuana in with everything else that people equate them to each other, right? Well, I tried weed and weed wasn't that bad, so why not try this or why not try that?
I love the smell of cocaine, but
yeah. Anyway,
it's a joke. It's a joke.
Anyway, but
all right.
And then Denny's talking about mental health issues. Well, PTSD is kind of a mental health issue. Cannabis is beneficial for people with PTSD. Anxiety and depression are mental health issues, but cannabis has a role to play with people who are dealing with those sort of things. So unless you get specifically to what Dr. Harris was telling us about schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, which are actually chemical issues within the brain and they can be exacerbated by the use of outside things like marijuana.
Right.
But for some, as even he said, schizophrenia is not really affected that much as long as the doses of THC are kept smaller and the CBD levels are increased. Right. So you just kind of have to invert the process. And he also said that if you use cannabis heavily as a teenager, then your risk for schizophrenia goes up. But in the study, it only went up by 0.5%. And even then, there is a genetic component that plays a part in this. It's not solely related to the cannabis itself. So, once again, it's about fear mongering. It's about some, holier than thou righteous fool. Probably the same kind of guy who voted against people getting abortions. You know what I mean? And I'm not pro-life or the other way around, but I just believe that, a woman's body is her body and it's her choice. And there are many circumstances in which that might be the best outcome for somebody in their particular situation. So, but it shouldn't be up to a court or to a group of Bible thumpers to make that decision for other people. You know what I mean?
Amen. Anyway, I had a story, but I lost it. It was there. It was gone now. It was on our screen for a while there, but I guess it.
Oh, that was marijuana something or other you had up there. I don't know what it was, but I don't know. I don't recall, but that story was pretty crazy to read that and think that's going on. So all I can say is everybody out from North Carolina, look out for that man. Rally against him.
What's his name again?
Chuck Edwards.
Chuck Edwards.
He's a Republican from North Carolina. But I mean, his mentality is no good.
Here we go.
Marijuana matters. That's what you had before.
Court hearing is taking place that could allow new cannabis dispensaries in New York to start opening up. News 12's Lisa LaRocca joins us now with what's expected to happen in court.
Oral arguments are taking place in Kingston today to determine if New York's retail marijuana licensing program can get back on track. It was derailed earlier this week due to a lawsuit. Take a look at Elevate Cannabis in Mount Vernon. It's poised to be Westchester County's first marijuana dispensary. Plan was to open September 1st, but now that may not happen.
We're excited, very motivated. We want to get this open and we want to start going.
A lawsuit filed by 4 disabled service veterans has put the brakes on licensing for new recreational marijuana dispensaries all across the state. It's also preventing the state from giving the final green light to open to businesses that already have their licenses, like Elevate Cannabis.
It's new to everyone, so there's always going to be something.
The 4 vets claim the state's attempt to improve social equity by first granting licenses to people with past cannabis convictions over other minority groups, like disabled veterans, violates the state law. As a result, a state Supreme Court judge issued a temporary halt order on Monday.
We have to be prepared either way. So if it goes good or not good, we have to be ready.
That's why Elevate Cannabis is holding a job fair Saturday. They're looking to hire 30 to 35 people so they can be ready to open as soon as the lawsuit issues are settled. No word yet as to how long it will take the judge to make a decision. As soon as that happens, we'll let you know. Lisa LaRocca, News 12.
So I'm trying to understand exactly what that said, but it said, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm really a bit confused, but these veterans brought the lawsuit.
How the hell am I going to correct you?
Because they didn't get preferential treatment in the licensing process. Is that what they're saying? Is that why they brought the lawsuit? Because they're saying
it
that
sounded like they were unhappy that indigenous people and other people got licenses before that. I don't know. It was very confusing as well, but something.
Well, I don't think, you know what I mean? When you're going through the licensing process, I would assume that you have a lawyer who's filling out a series of documents and you're providing certain proofs, whatever they require to get through, whether it's a criminal background check or whatever the case may be, and submitting that. I don't think anybody knows on the other side of the table who's receiving that application, whether somebody is a disabled veteran. I mean, a name could give away an ethnic group, or, Spanish or, Italian or whatever, based upon a name, you could make an assumption, I suppose. But you wouldn't know if somebody was a veteran.
Ever assume. It makes an ass out of you and me.
Yeah, so I don't see the justification. And it doesn't sound to me like they're trying to block it because they don't want people having access to cannabis. It seems to me like they're concerned because they don't have access to sell cannabis.
It's the dramatic pause.
Is that basically?
I don't know what you just said because you're frozen again. Suspense. Come on, you can do it, buddy. Pull through. You can do it. I have faith in you.
Pain in the ass. What's the date today? The 5th?
Yes, Tuesday, September 5th.
We got 27 more days to go, and this won't be an issue anymore.
Yay! We'll count them down. We'll have like a little calendar. We'll have a calendar. We'll celebrate.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you. See, I'm good until the last week. Then I'll be stressed because I'll have to have everything done. Like right now, I'm still taking it easy. There's
the wife is yelling. The wife is yelling and doing everything, and you're kind of like, "Don't worry about it." I know that's still. Don't worry about it. We got plenty of time. We got plenty of time. The last week, you'll be like, "Fuck! I should have been up doing this whole time. What the hell? Now I got so much shit to do."
No, I mean it's not like that. I got to take care of basically all the kitchen and all that, which would be the kind of at the last, at the end of things, because I don't know what I'm going to want to cook with in 10 days from now. I don't know.
Right. Hey, you don't know what you might want to walk.
It's food. Food to me is, I grocery shop twice a week because I like my food to be kind of fresh, right? So I basically go with whatever's in my gut the moment I arrive at the grocery store. So I don't know what it'll be.
Do you smoke before you go to the grocery store?
No.
Like they say, don't ever go to the grocery store high because you'll buy all
No.
the good stuff.
Man, where I grew up and where I became an adult, they had a 24-hour grocery store that was close to the bar that I worked in. And I'd go grocery shopping at like 1:30 in the morning after having drinks and smoking weed. And I tell you, buy so much crap. You know what I mean? So,
Curly cow, maybe that's why your doctor said what they said. Curly cow. Because you go to the grocery store stoned and come home with lots of icy pops.
well, don't get me wrong. I like my junk food too.
Listen, I'm a junk food junkie.
I do like it. There's no doubt. But I also like salads and I do like vegetables, and you know what I mean? I'd really like to go. I'd like to go the vegetarian route, but I haven't figured out how to make that food with the right flavor yet.
Our friend Lori.
Yeah.
I'm not calling you out, Lori, but we spoke again. She missed the whole segment, a part of the segment. She heard about us not wanting her to smoke it, and she took that to heart and smoked it anyway.
Smoke what? What? The stuff she took from her plant?
The clippings, yes.
Okay.
But I mentioned to her after that about the salad or a tea, and she was much more apt to that. So I think next time there'll be a salad made.
Well, see, then you get all the benefits of the nutrient in there. Like it's better for you than kale. Like a cannabis leaf salad will deliver you more nutrition than kale will.
Right.
That's how good this plant is. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, does it taste peppery? Does it taste weedy? I've never really eaten it. You know, like I've eaten like stems. You know, like I've chewed on a stem for a couple hours, a nice beefy one, you know, or something. You know,
that's funny.
Put it in
a salad, you know, like
put it in my lip, like chewing tobacco for an hour or two, you know, and let it soak there.
You will know that there's cannabis leaf in your salad.
Yeah,
you'll get that taste that only cannabis can have when you eat it. You know,
that taste that I love to smell.
Yeah. But it's good for you, and that's a better choice for your families, right? So if you have a small garden, you're doing 4 plants or something.
Now, wait a second. Let me ask you a question for children's safety. Now, I make a salad and it has a dozen or so leaves or so. You know, do I avoid giving those leaves to the small children, or are they able to eat them as well?
Well, they could really. Because even if you took sugar leaf, it would still be, for the most part, THCA. So there'd be no high anyway. But I'm not talking about using anything on the plant that you would actually want to smoke.
Right. I'm talking about the pretty
right? I'm talking about your big
fan leaves, the big ones, the pretty ones. Come on. Stay with me. Stay with me. I'm not hitting you this time, I swear. Come on, lean back over here.
Yeah, I'm talking about the big families that really have no value,
right?
As far as
right.
product,
but they have nutritional value. You just said,
yeah,
they have
absolutely
value. But my question is, those fan leaves are not going to get nobody high, right? They're not going to. So my 5-year-old doesn't need to know that they're marijuana leaves. It's not going to hurt them in any way.
No,
I'm not going to have
a healthy salad with.
Is CPS going to come in and take my kids away because I'm feeding them?
Kelly just shot us some buttholes.
Are you listening to me? Focus over here.
I just saw the buttholes pop up.
I see. Now, come on, focus. Is CPS going to come in and take my kids away because I'm feeding them marijuana leaves?
Well, you know, there's always going to be people with small minds, right? And different agendas. But the whole thing is that
my children are growing and out of the house. I don't have any.
I mean, I wouldn't send my kid to school with a cannabis leaf salad.
With a cannabis leaf sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do that. But, you know, you're not going to have that much leaf anyway, unless you have a decent sized grow. Like when we used to trim a room, we'd fill 5 garbage bags full of leaf. But for the most part, what you're doing at home, you might be able to generate enough leaf to make a salad
No,
full
Mississippi
time
knows
throughout
all
the
about
course
my
of
illegitimate
a grow, you know?
Yeah. Mississippi knows all about my illegitimate children. Don't worry about that. You don't have to tell her anything. I told her that
Yeah,
when
so
we're married, there's could be one or two out there.
it's a great way to utilize your leaves when you're taking them off, when you're thinning out your plant. Instead
Right.
of throwing them away, you know?
But I'm saying, like, all right, so you put them in, you save them. So you keep them, you save them, you put them in the freezer. You suck
No,
the
use them right away.
Oh, use them right away.
You make a salad the day that you take them from the plants. You wash them like you would lettuce or any other leafy green, and you use it right away. Fresh is best. That's when the most highest nutritional content is available.
All right, you got it here first from our chef.
Yeah.
Dr. High.
Well, I'm no chef, but I understand that the cannabis plant has more than just the benefit of smoking. You know?
Now, if we were to saute our leaves, would the THCA then turn to a THC?
On your leaf that we're talking about, there wouldn't be any THC or THCA. There'd just be chlorophyll and fiber.
All right.
Huh?
I'm just all right. Don't get
Have you
snippy.
ever watched the cooking show Bon Appetit?
No.
Have you seen it? So this being that you're a chef by trade, you would probably love this show. It's on YouTube. BONG, Bong Appetit. And there's 3 or 4 seasons of it run out of California where they get celebrities get together for a dinner party and they bring in celebrity chefs.
Right.
And they cook with cannabis.
Right.
And you'll see them actually take those leaves and do them like what's that Japanese where they fry the vegetables in like a batter, tempura. They'll do like a tempura cannabis leaf as a decoration on top of the dish or something like that, right? They'll deep fry them real fast and crypt them off or bake them off, and they do so many things with this product. But I'll tell you, anybody who likes cooking,
I want to know, do these celebrity chefs get fucked up and then they're laughing and giggling and high after the show, like at the end of
well,
the
I
show?
mean, you see people like Kat Cora on there, and some of these chefs aren't necessarily cannabis people, but they'll prepare. And then a lot of those chefs are actually cannabis friendly. You'll see them smoking a joint while they're preparing on the show. Like it's a great show. If people out there love food and are interested in cooking shows at all and would be interested in how to incorporate cannabis into your meals in a way that is responsible and not stupid dosing, you know what I mean? Like they'll do a 4-course meal, and throughout the course of the meal, maybe you're going to ingest 20 milligrams of THC and 20 milligrams of CBD throughout all the different courses.
The hell good is that? What a waste of weed.
Some courses will have like a sauce, right?
Yeah.
And so that sauce you can apply more or less to increase your dose or decrease what you're taking in. So you have options along.
Yeah, if I go, I want to get baked like a potato.
It's really.
We're falling apart here. We're falling apart. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Come on, I know you're ticklish. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Come on.
Oh, fuck, irritating.
He's back. I woke him up with tickles. I tickled him.
This is irritating as hell.
Says you.
That drives me nuts. It reminds me of I use kind of like a jailbroke Fire Stick for my television. You know, that way I get like the Barbie. I was just able to get the Barbie movie yesterday and stuff early, you know. And sometimes it just buffers. You'll be into a movie and then every 5 or 8 or 10 minutes it'll start buffering, and that just pisses me off. So I'm sorry, everybody, because I know how frustrating It is, and I would get frustrated sitting here having it happen. But like I was saying,
the news is I got to do another commercial. So what were you going to say?
Yeah.
What were you
How'd
gonna
you
say?
know? I don't know.
Oh, all right. I thought you were going to say something. We'll be right back after the commercials with the Hippie and Dr. High on Live 365 and TuneIn, and over here on Facebook and YouTube.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're going to go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you going to do? You're going to go grocery shopping, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You got to dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. No, you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. I'm going to go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Are you in the Ellensville or Middletown, New York area? Revamp your space with Collins Paints Ltd. Ugly walls? Let Collins Paints Ltd. add a splash of color to your world. Collins Painting is a veteran-owned and operated business. They can transform your space to whatever your heart desires. Say goodbye to the boring paint and hello to possibilities of bright and vibrant colors. The Collins Painting team are a group of skilled professional painters who will turn your vision into reality. Call Collins Paint Ltd. today to get a fast and easy quote. Available Monday through Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them at 845-869-8176.
Say bye-bye to bottled water. Holistic Health Water has certified medical-grade water ionizers that make 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink. Even get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free ebook. Plus, pay for any machine in full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. Ownyourwater.org.
WTHC, we're back and we're hanging. It's me, the hippie, and of course my bestie over here, Dr. High. Dr. High, we got about 14 minutes left unless you got long time to hang out. But the internet's been driving us nuts today.
With the way this internet's going, do we really want to frustrate people any more than we already are?
And most of them have already left. They've already said we're done with today. But
yeah, it's been brutal. It's been brutal.
What's your plans for this afternoon?
Huh?
I said, what's your plans for this afternoon? Anything good?
Oh no! When I'm done this, I'm going to make myself some lunch, and then I'm going to chill because, like I said, I was on the computer at 4:30 this morning, and I didn't come into the studio until like 10 to 12. So I've had a pretty long day already.
Yeah.
Just about enough now. So
Yeah,
I'm just going to chill this afternoon.
Beat myself. Mrs. Hippie, like I said, pulled that whole coffee snarl on me this morning. Tried to trick me. She was like, I'm taking the last cup of regular coffee. You get the decaf. But I caught her before she snuck out. I was like, you
give me that cup back.
pulled the fast one on me.
See, my wife don't drink coffee at all, so I have no competition.
Oh, we got lots of competition. The
No
18-year-old, my sister. The only one that doesn't drink it is my daughter, and she'll
Huh.
drink iced coffee, but she don't like regular hot coffee.
Yeah,
But
my
son-
daughter's funny. My
Our
daughter's
first-
going to come here the day before we move.
She's
She
gonna
wants-
grill you.
No, she wants to come here the day before we move so that she can help us move and then drive back with my wife. Because my wife won't want to drive that distance by herself in the car, and I'll be driving the truck. So
That's nice. You got the U-Haul. She's gonna drive the car.
Yep.
Your daughter, your son will come and ride with you.
No, my son won't come.
Bastard.
I need him the next day there. Him with all his little 22 and 23-year-old buddies.
His crony friends.
Yep, I got to put them boys to work.
Get your asses to work. Get all that stuff up to the 5th floor.
Nah,
and then
it's not going to
bring
be
it
that
back
bad.
Then bring it back down to the 2nd floor.
It's an elevator. I got the right dollies, one for furniture,
all right.
one for boxes. So
Oh,
it should go pretty good.
Done in an hour. We'll be done in an hour.
An hour would be nice, but I'm thinking, going in's always faster than coming out, right? Because you got to load the truck properly, but on the way out, you just got to get the shit out.
And you can leave the truck at the local U-Haul where there, right? You don't have to.
Yeah, like 10 minutes from where I'm going.
Right.
From where I'm going to live over there. So.
And then Mrs. High will just come pick you up in the car.
It was funny because I was looking around for movers, and the guys that I actually hired to do this job, the guy says to me, well, listen, if you're just going to Montreal, then it might be cheaper if we do the whole move for you. And I said, I don't see how that's possible. I said, I got a U-Haul truck, got a good price. He said, well, we just did. Somebody just moved from here to Fredericton, and it cost them $6,200 for their U-Haul. And I said, really? It cost me $500. So I told him, I said, send me up the quotes. And when I sent him my information, I sent him a screenshot of the contract, right, with U-Haul. He gets back to me, he says, how the fuck did you do that? So cheap, you know? So that's not bad, because when I moved from Edmonton to here, it cost me $12,000. But going from here to Montreal, it's going to cost me more like $1,300 or $1,400. So a lot more tolerable.
What the hell are you moving? You got one of them ice truck mover guys that are driving like furniture that can't break, and they gotta do it in a certain amount of hours. What the hell are you doing?
Well, it wasn't bad actually. I loaded in Edmonton, and my stuff was delivered here 4 days later. Or not 4 days later. It took me 5 days to get here because of the weather. So 6 days later, but it would have been earlier had the weather not been fucked.
Wow, that's crazy.
But it was expensive to use. I used Atlas van lines.
Oh well, there you go. And did they do everything? And you had everything?
No,
was
I did all the packing on.
Everything was covered in blankets, and everything was stacked.
Yeah, because it was going on a 53-foot trailer, right? But I got a big house.
I did that for a living.
Yeah, it's a tough job. I've done it too. But I got a 2,500 square feet house full with furniture everywhere, 3 full bedrooms. And here, when I'm leaving here, I'm taking 1 bedroom, my living room, my dining room table, my desk. You know what I mean? I'm really like thinning out because I'm going into half the space, not even half the space.
Quarter of the space, I think you were saying.
I think I'm going into like 1,250 square feet or something like that. So
yeah,
it's going to be a change.
You're going to be on top of each other.
Well, there's just 2 of us.
You know, all the time.
No, he does anyway. Big old dog.
I think we're going to call it for the day. I think we're done.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got to go potty. It's already 9
Oh,
minutes.
I was going to say, everybody left us? Holy cow.
I mean, we're down to like 4 people, and I
We
appreciate
threw them all away.
been in here all day, but I got to go potty, and I need another drink.
Well, my apologies for the internet, everybody. It was, I don't know.
It was
you know what? It's
a lot of
beautiful
people here earlier.
It's a beautiful day. Like, there's not a cloud in the sky. There's no wind. I don't understand it. But maybe it's just too humid for the internet.
Yeah, it's too thick.
Could be. I don't know. Strange. All right, then.
All right. Well, I mean, we can talk if you want to talk for the last 8 minutes. There's 8 minutes left.
Don't matter.
If somebody's got a question, we got 8 minutes left. Come on, give us something to talk about. I went through all my stories. There wasn't very good stories this week.
Oh, they were interesting. I'd seen something there in Japan. They were concerned because some people were having adverse reaction to a cannabis-like subject. So they were all uptight over that. What? All right, get the ball rolling, Kelly. How do you want to start that off?
Out of control.
We'll allow you to serve first, and then we'll serve back.
Bumping ugly. Yeah, I can do that. How about that? We'll do that.
That's the first mistake, thinking they're uglies.
Buck sticky, bumping uglies.
Oh, yeah? I've not heard this one.
Girl, there ain't nothing but a penis between us. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I would like to send a rocket to Uranus, write a song about you, and make you famous. I'm just playing with you, baby. This is entertainment. Lights, camera, action. You can find me center frame. Glad you came tonight. Let's have a naked party. Oh, heck, everybody likes to act nice. On the bomb. Yeah, we all just wanna bump. It's got my pictures standing up, but I ain't having it. Bumping ugly. Jump up on the stage, grab the mic, rock it right, super tight. Saw some boobs, glad you had fun at the Muck Sticky show tonight. Every time I come to your city, you ask me to come home and play with your kitty, but it's more like a cougar and I'm scared. It's like you got a woolly mammoth fighting with a muskox down there. So I'm heading for the hills, going recluse. I thought I wanted sexy time, but I'm yelling let loose. Yeah, we all just wanna bump. It's got my pictures standing up, but I ain't having it. Bumping ugly. Well, here it is, 3:52 a.m. in the morning. I gotta drive 487 miles to get to Pensacola, and she's a-banging on my hotel room door, drunker and shit, talking about she wants me to take her out for some chili dogs. And I'm like, hell no, bitch! Take your crazy ass back on up to the woods. Go to your cousin's house and get your meme on to fix you some, cause I ain't a-doing it. We just wanna bump. Yeah, we all just wanna bump. It's got my pictures standing up, but I ain't having it.
Me too.
Yeah, chili dog was
WTHC. That's it, Dr. High. I can't entertain no. Bumping Uglies was the final straw.
Oh, that was it, eh?
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody out there on Live 365 and tune in for chilling out with us. Of course, everybody that's been in and out all day here, hanging out with us on Facebook and YouTube. Dr. High, you say your stuff that you like to say.
Oh, I just want to thank everybody for spending some time with us. Appreciate it for sure.
Absolutely.
And we'll look forward to tomorrow.
Yes. we are looking forward to tomorrow, hump day. Hump day.
That's
Until
it.
then, everybody have a great night. Peace, love, hippie hugs, and a shitload of
Peace.
nuts to you all.
Be good, everybody.